Welcome to EnfinityCast, where we chart the knowns and unknowns of our universe. I'm your host, Elion Quanta. For decades, we've looked to the stars with ambition, launching satellites, telescopes, and missions. But we've left something behind, a trail of cosmic breadcrumbs that has now become an orbital junkyard. And to help me sift through this high-tech trash heap, I'm joined by my co-host, the ever-insightful Bryn Sora.
Thanks, Elion. It's a critical topic. When people think of space, they imagine this vast, empty expanse. But the reality, at least in the orbits closest to Earth, is that it's getting crowded and dangerous.
Let's put some numbers to that. We're not talking about a few stray bolts. The European Space Agency estimates there are over 36,000 pieces of debris larger than 10 centimeters, about 1 million objects between 1 and 10 centimeters, and a staggering 130 million objects smaller than that.
And size is deceptive here. Even a paint fleck, traveling at orbital velocity, that's around 17,500 miles per hour, has the kinetic energy of a bowling ball dropped from a skyscraper. It can shatter a satellite solar panel or cripple a critical sensor.
This leads to a terrifying feedback loop, doesn't it? The concept known as the Kessler syndrome?
Exactly. It's a chain reaction scenario, first proposed by NASA scientist Donald Kessler in 1978. One collision creates thousands of new pieces of debris. Each of those new pieces then increases the probability of more collisions, creating even more debris, until low Earth orbit becomes completely unusable for generations.
A self-perpetuating cloud of shrapnel encasing the planet. That's the risk. We rely on satellites for GPS, for global communication, for climate monitoring, for financial transactions. The backbone of modern life is up there flying through this minefield.
And let's not forget the human element. The International Space Station has had to perform emergency maneuvers dozens of times to dodge orbital debris. It's a constant threat to the astronauts on board.
Okay, so the problem is immense and growing. It sounds bleak. But this is where human ingenuity comes in, Bryn. What are we doing to clean this up? We can't just send someone up with a celestial garbage bag.
No, but some of the ideas aren't too far off. There are several promising concepts in development. One mission, called Remove Debris, successfully tested a few methods. It used a net to capture a target and a harpoon to spear a piece of simulated debris.
A space harpoon? That's incredible. What else is on the drawing board?
There are some really futuristic ideas. Companies are designing space tugs that could rendezvous with a dead satellite, latch on, and then push it into a lower orbit where it will burn up in the atmosphere. Others are exploring giant sails that could be attached to debris to use the Earth's faint atmospheric drag to slow it down and deorbit it.
I've also read about ground-based lasers, not to destroy the debris, which would just create more smaller pieces, but to gently nudge it. By firing a laser at a piece of debris, you can create a tiny puff of plasma on its surface, acting like a microthruster to alter its trajectory into a safer decaying orbit.
It's a delicate dance of physics and engineering. But the biggest challenge isn't just technology. It's policy and international cooperation. Who pays for the cleanup? Who is liable for old debris? We need a global framework for space traffic management, just like we have for air traffic control.
A crucial point. We treated space like an infinite resource, but we're learning that our little corner of it is a finite, fragile ecosystem. The solutions are within our grasp, but they require a collective will to act before we cage ourselves on our own planet.
Well said. The future of space exploration and a lot of our life on Earth depends on us cleaning up our act.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me, Bryn.
Anytime, Elion.
And thanks to you for listening to EnfinityCast. Join us next time as we continue to explore the final frontier.